Well, what's up everyone? Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the BH150 backhoe that's on the back of the TYM 2515H. We're going to do a little addition to that backhoe just to make it a little bit more useful for different things we can do here around the farm. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right everyone, apologies if there's any wind noise. There's a lot of wind today. We're in a high fire danger today. Very low humidity. Wind is gusting upwards of 50 miles an hour. So part of the reason I'm doing this project in the shop today. So this backhoe does great digging dirt. I mean, you guys have seen several videos I put out about using this backhoe. Works awesome. But this backhoe reminds me of a knuckle boom, as what would be on some service trucks, a lot of the tire trucks for heavy equipment, different things like that. So I think we can add one little piece to this that's going to be a quick and easy project to add that's going to make this thing a whole lot more useful. And here in a little bit I'll explain what I plan on using it for. So what I'm talking about is adding a grab hook back here. Now let me bring in here and kind of show you where I'm planning on putting it and give you some different options, but I'll explain. Okay, now here's the bucket, 16-inch bucket. A person could easily add a grab hook right up into here and it would still clear. I can suck the cylinder in here in just a second and show you. It would still fit there. But I think where I'm going to put it is on this crossbar right here. I'm going to grind this paint off. I've already grinded all the mill scale and everything off of the grab hook. This is a 5/16 G70 grab hook. So I think it's going to work just fine right there. I thought about putting a 3/8 here, but I think a 5/16 would work better. Just being able, having to use smaller chain. I'm not going to pick up anything that's going to actually need something bigger than a 5/16. So that's my plan. Let me suck the cylinder in. I'll just show you kind of that you could put it up in here. I don't know. I don't want it on the bucket just because if I don't have this bucket on here and I've got a ripper or something different, I still have access to my grab hook that's going to be right here. Bucket's all the way curled back. You can see this still would fit right up in here or even right up in here. And I mean, there's plenty of room where it's not going to hit anything. But I still think a better option is going to be put it on that. So let's get this thing set up and get the welder fired up. Go ahead and get this paint ground off of here and we'll get this thing welded on. Okay, like I've said before, if you want to make a good weld, you need to make sure you're down to the parent metal on all of this. So all this paint and mill scale that's on here, we're going to go ahead and get off of there. Now once we get this welded and it cools, we'll go ahead and put some paint on that so it doesn't rust. All right, easy enough. I'm gonna get the welder fired up, let it start warming up, get all the leads unrolled, get everything ready. Hooks here. So since everything's clean, I'm probably just gonna go straight to 70/18, 1/8 inch, weld it. If it was dirty at all, I'd hit it with 60/10 first and then cap it with 70/18, but 70/18 should just be just fine as is since everything's clean. But something you want to make sure of when you're putting the ground on, I'm going to hook the ground straight to the grab hook. I don't see any reason. If you ground it to the bucket or the polish rod or anything like that, I know this polish rod's shiny and it looks like a good place to put a ground, but it is not a good place to put a ground. If you put your ground up here, that circuit to complete itself, it's going to end up going through either a piston up here in your cylinder, or it's going to go through the bushings here on the pins. And it could technically kind of weld itself together or fuse itself there. So don't put it anywhere that the circuit is going to travel through any sort of bushing, bearing, anything like that, because you don't want that. Or if I hook my ground up here on this polish rod, it could arc right here, gouge into that polish rod. Not something you really want to do. So this, if you're not going to ground to the hook, you need to ground to this piece itself, and that's going to work out just fine. But for me, I'm just going to hook the ground to this, tack it to it real quick, and make sure everything's in line. This isn't like just crucial that it is perfectly straight, not bent or anything like that. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to call that good, get it close, and we'll finish welding that thing out. Probably going to set the microphone up to the side so I don't burn all the windscreen off. So I think all I need left, move my phone so I don't melt holes in the face of it, and get some welding rod, get all my PPE on. I think we'll be ready. Do any of you all that stick weld use 2 different types of gloves? I always have the heavy glove on my offhand, and I use a TIG glove for holding the stinger just because it's thinner and I can feel better. Okay, I think we're ready to get started. I'll reposition you all up close, get my hood on, we'll get the ground hooked up to the grab hook and get this thing tacked up and kind of squared up and get this thing welded on. My lens moved over. I kept getting flashed. So I'm trying to get this moved back in there. Well, that looks awful. We'll try to smooth some of that up when we go over it a second time. Well, it's definitely not the prettiest, but it will work. Oh yeah, that is definitely not pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and make one more pass right up through here. Real ugly. Oh well, I bet it'll hold. If not, I can put more weld on it. I'm just not feeling it today. Y'all ever have those days? Come on. Yeah, this will look real good. Yep. Real ugly. Okay, one more pass. Yep. Just not feeling it. It is a little offset to this side. Oh well. It'll work. I mean, it's just a hook. Nothing special about it. It'll hold. Okay. Well, definitely not pretty. It is what it is. It'll hold. I'm confident in it for what I'm going to be using it for. It's going to be just fine. What I should have done, all my tacks, I should have ground everything down and took the big hump out of it, took that out of the way. And I was wanting to make sure you all had a good shot of it. So part of the time I could just kind of barely see what I was doing. I would have rather had my face up in here a little bit more, but it's fine. No big deal. It's going to hold. I hope. It should. Yeah, anyways, let me get all my stuff picked up, rolled up, my leads, and I'll curl this thing back up and I'll kind of show you all, just kind of give you an idea of what I'm planning on using this for. Maybe you guys will want to use the same thing if you have a backhoe on your machine. Y'all figured it out yet? So I don't know how well this is going to work. We're going to try it. I figure I can use something like this to help load rounds onto my log splitter since I do not have a log lift on it. So we'll see. I think it's going to be okay. We're going to have to be fairly close to it, but if I can position the logs here and the splitter just kind of right next to it, I can kind of park in between and just pick up from one side and swing to the other and set it up on the log splitter. We'll test that here coming up in another video and see how well it works. But let me go ahead and just kind of move this thing around and see. I do need to get a lot shorter chain. This was just a piece I had laying. So I don't know. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know if you think this is going to work or not. Oh, man, that bracket from ITC Quick Attach, that helps a ton. Look at that wind. So, I don't know. That's probably going to be about how high it is. That splitter's not real high, but once that thing's opened up on some logs, get it there to hold wherever, get the splitter on it, undo the tongs, and move it out of the way. That would be the highest it could go, which my splitter's not that high. Huh. Oh, you guys okay? All right, well, I figured I'd bring y'all inside. What do y'all think of this? Do you think it was a waste of time? Do you see another use besides firewood for it? Leave a comment, let us know. I don't know how much weight we're going to be able to pick up with this thing boomed out all the way. I would think we'd be able to pick up a decent sized piece of firewood, but we'll see. We'll test that out. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to take this off of here and get everything painted up because it should be cool by now. But hope y'all enjoyed the video. Really appreciate you being here and watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.